Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Komal Singh Parihar, and as you already got an introduction about me, let me tell you a bit about myself. I was always fascinated by the fact that how much mental health affect our physical health and how much it affects every aspect of our life. So that's why I decided to do psychology, and that's why I started the initiative Life Reprogramming. Life Reprogramming basically helps people understand how mental health is affecting us and how it affects every decision we make, every aspect of our life, we meet, and everything in our life. So, if we are able to reprogram our minds, if we are able to think how we have to think and keep our mind healthy, then we can change every aspect in our life and we can change our physical health and we can achieve whatever we want to. That's why I started the initiative Life Reprogramming. Later on, I felt the need of introducing few Vedic cultures and few Vedic techniques amongst us so that people can understand okay, our Vedas and our scriptures are very rich and very effective. So I started the company NGO, which is Ekaki Vedam, which is helping people understand how our Vedas and our techniques work and how to use them to enhance the quality of our life. Today, I am presenting the topic stress management. As we all know, we are going through a very, very crucial time, which is pandemic. All of us are suffering, or our families are suffering in one way or the another. Everyone around the world is suffering due to this pandemic, emotionally and physically also. Some of us have managed to survive, but many of us are in the grip of that stress and that anxiety which is created due to this pandemic. We all are lucky to be here and to survive that period, but we are very much influenced by that effect which this pandemic has created. Now, what is stress? When we are talking about the stress through this pandemic or stress is when our body or our mind is in some kind of tension due to some situations or due to some anticipation of the future. Stress can be good or bad. When stress is motivating us, stress is helping us achieve our goals, then it is good stress. Like when we have stress for our exams, so we study. As we have stress in some very crucial situation where we respond to it and we run from that situation, like if some animal is in front of us, then we run from that animal. That is a good stress because that is preparing our body to fight that situation or to fight that situation. But if that stress turns to a distress or a negative slope, what happens? Our body is still in flight and fight mode, but our mind is not working with our body and our mind is not in sync with our body. And that's why we cannot respond to that stress or we cannot respond to that situation in an appropriate manner. And that stress leads to our physical distress and our mental distress, which ultimately leads to anxiety. And later on, when it continues for a long period of time, it can turn into depression also. Many of us, just like that in normal slang, say that that person is having depression, but move, but that person is suffering to stress. Depression is a very clinical term which comes when a person is suffering from stress and some situations for a long period of time and it is diagnosed clinically. Otherwise, we will consider that situation as stress or anxiety, not depression. Depression is very clinical and it needs special treatment and it needs to be treated well by a professional. But when we talk about stress, stress is in our hands and we can gradually, by doing and bits of changes in our lifestyles, we can manage our stress and we can manage the sync between our mind and our body. When we are talking about stress, stress is something which is very common. If we have some interview, we have that stress. If we are preparing for some exam, we have that stress. As pandemic is going on, we have stress for like how to survive in it, how to our parents have that stress, or even we have that stress, how to manage through it, how to financially manage through it, how to physically manage through it, and a lots of situations. So what to do in these situations? What steps should be taken? First of all, we have to diagnose ourselves whether it's a stress which is affecting our body, or it's a stress which is affecting our decisions, or this is a stress which is affecting every aspect of our life. Because if that stress is affecting your mind or your decisions, then ultimately you will feel that it is affecting you throughout your life and throughout every aspect of your life. And if it is affecting your physical body, then you have to take few steps to reduce that effect on your body. Because when it is affecting your physical body, that will lead to exhaustion, that will lead to um, weakness, and that will lead to nausea and different situations. Let's talk about how stress affects our body. When we Stress is a very natural response when we are facing some situation which is undesirable, or a situation where we feel like this is the situation where we are in danger. Then our body responds to it. Our body responds to it by activating flight and fight mode. Our adrenal glands activates and it releases the hormones which prepares the body for flight or fight or freeze mode. Fl- uh, our body gets prepared, our heart rate rises, our muscles get the energy to fight that thing, and our vision gets clear, our breathing gets fast because we need more energy to burn, and then we get to fight that situation. Think of a situation where you are standing and suddenly a tiger comes in front of you. What you will do? You will run from that tiger, or you will just stand there, or you will just fight that tiger. What you will do? In most of the cases, people will run from that tiger because they feel like that is the most appropriate response in that situation. So, our body was prepared to fight or flight that situation, and you use that flight and fight response to run from that tiger. Now, let's come to stressful situations where you are not able to manage, because flighting the situation not is not the solution in all the situations, because you have to face it in this time or some other time. If we are talking about some test or upcoming interview, you cannot flight that, right? Because you have to give it. So what you will do, you will prepare for that interview, but due to this much stress you are unable to prepare, because this stress, which was positive stress, now has turned into a negative stress, and which is affecting you in terms that it has handicapped your mind. Now what you will do? First of all, because when you are in stress, you feel like you are out of control. You don't have control on that situation. Your mind thinks that everything is going out of control, and now I can't control anything in front of me, and then it just gives up. And then you don't know what you have to exactly do. Now, in that situation, we'll start with planning. Yes, we'll start with planning. But now you'll think I'm already planning for all my exams, all my interviews, and that's not working. How planning will work for me? When we are talking about planning in terms of stress management, then we'll plan in bits and pieces. You have to plan what all you have to do, but not with the timeline. Timeline increases your stress and anxiety. So you will not um, decide the timeline. If I'm preparing for an interview, suppose, so I'll write down a to-do list for tomorrow. Okay, so I'll write down what all I have to prepare for this interview tomorrow, but I'll not write the timing in front of that. Ki, okay, I have to complete this in 1 hour. I have to complete in this in 2 hours, or maybe I will complete this in maybe around 10 o'clock, and then I'll complete this around 2 o'clock. You don't have to do that. You just have to prepare a to-do list without timings, without any mention of in what uh, time period you will do or at what time you will do. And after preparing this list, take the first task. If I'm preparing for the interview and my first task is to revise maybe chapter personality, so then I'll divide that task into subtask. Maybe I'll divide that. Okay, I have to study the chapter personality. Now I'll divide that personal chapter into 5 subtasks, and I'll start with one of them. When you'll do this, what will happen? Now your mind knows ki okay, that uh, reading that or revising that chapter personality was a big task because that was a big chapter. Now, as I have decided to subdivide that task, now maybe extrovert, I'm talking about extrovert. So first of the subtopic is extrovert. Now extrovert is small task in comparison to reading whole chapter personality. Now you can negotiate with your mind. Okay, I'm not going for such a big task, I'm going for this big task. So your mind will come in control. Okay, I can do that, and I have no pressure of time. I have no pressure to complete this in this much time. So your mind will feel like it is again in control. If your mind comes in control, then it starts doing what you need it to do. So, whenever you are planning for something, always start with small tasks and always subdivide your tasks. Maybe if you are planning for some workshop, or maybe you are planning for some event, then your first task is to prepare the guest list. Obviously, for an event, you will need a guest list. Now, what you will do? Your mind is not in control. It feels like nothing is happening, and I cannot do that, and I cannot achieve that, so I will not do it. Now, what you will do? Your first task is to prepare the guest list. Now, you will subdivide the task, and maybe you can write first task. Okay, I'll prepare the guest list. First task in the guest list is to include all my friends, and you started including your friends. Then second task is to include all the students of your class. Then you did that, and you will gradually move to a bigger task. And then third task is to include all the students of the college who are related to this subject or this event. Then you did that, and then you went on to maybe inviting other people or people of other colleges, etc., etc. So whenever your mind comes in control, like it feels like it is in control, or this is a very small task, I can do it, then it starts working again. And if your mind feels like, okay, this is a very big task, I cannot do it, or this is getting out of hand, then it just gives up. So, whenever you are in stress of doing something and you're feeling like your planning is not working for you, then you can again start planning without time pressure. And whenever with to-do list, start making a to-do list and start dividing the task. When you will divide the task into subtasks, your mind will gain the control and help you to complete all the tasks you have written in to-do list. Second way, okay, this was when your mind will gain control and can do the task. Now, second thing is, whenever you are in stress, your body is also exhausted because it turned on the emergency mode of your body, and emergency mode is flight or fight. So your body is in extreme condition where your blood pressure is high, your breathing is rapid, and energy is going to every cell, every muscle of the body, which is not used. So your body will get exhausted after some time. And if this situation is uh, continuous, matlab you are getting stressed again and again and again and again, or you are continuously in stress, then your body is always here, emergency mode mein. What will happen? जब आपकी body is in emergency mode, it has to come down or cool down to again go up. So it just falls down. Instead of coming slowly, it just falls down to the normal situation where it gets deeper. Means हमारा ये normal situation है, आपकी body का situation will go down and you will feel very weak, you will feel lethargic, you will feel lazy, and also you will feel you have no energy left to do something else, and your body will get exhausted. And because continuous stress is there, your body will go up and down. So your system of emergency mode will get disrupted, and whenever you will seriously need the system to work properly, it will not work properly. So what to do when you are in continuous stress? You can do few things for your body to relax. That is, you can do some exercise, some yoga, because the exercise and yoga helps mind to release some neurochemicals which makes you happy and which makes your body stable. So you can try some yoga exercise, or 20 minutes of walk will do the thing. So you can just go out and walk. Maybe you can take a walk at your home also if you're not allowed, if you're not willing to go out. And if you're not doing any of this, then what can you try? You can try some meditation. Meditation also helps. You can try some relaxation techniques, like maybe you can try guided meditation or some art therapy. Um, Art therapy is something which works for most of us because we are somehow connected to artistic or somehow connected to art. In art therapy, it's not about painting, it's about expressing yourself through various mediums like music, like dance, like painting, coloring, sketching, drawing, anything you can do or you want to do. Today, I'll be introducing a very effective method of mandala for relaxation. Nowadays, people are talking about mandala a lot. Mandala is something which helps you to understand your feeling, helps your mind to relax, express itself, and to come to some conclusions if there are some thought blockage. So, mandala is the technique which is very ancient. It is mentioned in our Vedas also, it is mentioned in Chinese scriptures also, and various other religions, various other cultures have taken something or the other from these techniques and introduced them to their cultures. And now we in art therapy also, in psychology also, Jung was a person who introduced mandala. Mandala is drawing within the circle. When you will type mandala on net, you will find various designs, various drawings there. But basically, originally, this technique is when you draw a circle and you draw inside it. It helps you express your thoughts. It helps you to remove those blockage which are in your mind, and it helps you to understand yourself better, and also helps you to release stress. When you understand your mind well, when you understand yourself well, then your sync between your mind and body increases and it works properly. So let's try a mandala. I request you all to take a paper and a pen of your favorite color. Apart from black or blue, take any color you want and take a paper. And who uh, and please inform me if you are all ready with pen or paper. Like, I'll wait for you guys to take pen and paper. You have 5 minutes for it. Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, ready. I got the message. You guys are ready. So, when you guys are drawing mandala today, it describes a lot about your personality, and it tells a lot about your thoughts and what you are willing to do, what you are thinking, and what all blockage you have in your mind. So, from my organization, we have few therapists who will decode them for you, and I personally will decode some of them for you. So I request you guys to send the picture of your mandala and a description of it on our site, on our email ID, which is info@ekakivedam.com, and we will decode it for you and give you back with all the description it shows about you. When we are talking about mandala or art therapy, we unwillingly or unknowingly describe or express a lot about ourselves, our mind, our thought on paper. We don't know about it, what we are expressing. So when you're drawing this mandala, use as many colors as you want, draw anything you want, or write anything you want inside that mandala, and let's do it. So take paper and draw a circle freehand like this. Freehand circle, draw a, you don't need to get any compass or round thing. Draw it freehand and take any color you want I'm taking pink. You can take purple, yellow, red, green, any color you want. And I want you to draw anything you like inside it, which you feel like will express you. You feel like will tell about you. And you feel like will tell about your thoughts, your personality, anything you want. Maybe a flower, maybe a tree, maybe a moon, sun, whatever you want to draw inside that, maybe a cartoon character, anything. I want you to draw inside it and send it to our email ID and we'll decode it for you. So, mandala is something which helps you because you are drawing inside a circle. In our culture, in our ancient scriptures and ancient books, it is mentioned that circle plays a very important role in our psyche and circle plays a very important role in our life. So, when we are drawing inside the circle, it helps us to encompass our thoughts and it helps our brain, our mind to understand them, to decode them, and to and it replaces it with positive thoughts and positive decisions and positive aspects we are leaving behind. So when you are drawing inside mandala, you can try this for next 15 days. Take a mandala or draw a circle and every day for 30 minutes draw something inside it. Take 30 minutes and draw anything you want. Like, don't copy it from somewhere, draw something which comes to your mind. And after that, after completing your drawing, you have to give 30 minutes to yourself. After completing that drawing, you have to write 20 points about that mandala. 20 points which will describe why you used this color, why you drew this thing, or what you see in this mandala, or any 25 points describing the drawing you made today. And those 30 points plus that mandala will gradually change, will gradually bring change in your thoughts because you are expressing yourself, you are taking out every thought, every blockage which is there in your mind, in your brain. And because that blockage is getting removed, is that's why your fluidity of thoughts will gradually increase. As fluidity of thoughts will increase, your positivity will increase. Your fluidity is something which brings positivity in your thoughts. If that fluidity is hindered by some blockage in your mind or by a blockage of thoughts or blockage of some events which happened in your past and you have that, like you are rethinking it or revisiting it in your mind, then what happens? Then your fluidity of your thoughts gets hindered, and that's why negativity starts, negative thought starts in your mind, and you start thinking of negative outcomes, you start thinking of negative situations. But when those blockages are removed because you have expressed yourself, you all must have heard about catharsis, right? What is catharsis? Catharsis is when somebody just says what is in his or her mind and gets everything out of that, like out of the system. That is catharsis. Catharsis is saying everything out, getting everything out of the system. So, mandala helps you to take everything out of your system without saying or speaking a single word because You are using colors, you are using drawing, you are using art as the medium of expression. There, you don't have to tell anybody or yourself even what happened or what is in your mind. You just have to drop, you just have to express yourself on that, inside that circle. And gradually, because you are expressing yourself for next 15 days, gradually those blockage will be removed and your fluidity will increase. And as your fluidity increase, I've already told you, your positivity increases, your thought gets in a positive mindset, and gradually you have a clear vision of your thoughts, your mind. And as you achieve the clear vision, your mind and body comes in sync. And that is the ultimate thing you want in your life, because if your mind and body is in sync, you ultimately can achieve anything you want or anything you plan for, because your body is ready to support your mind and your brain is ready to do whatever you are planning to do. When your brain is ready to do whatever you are planning and your body is ready to support your brain and mind, then it's we all know that anything is achievable. So try this mandala for next 15 days, and you can send us your mandala which you are drawing today, with description of 20 points why you used this color or why you drew this thing, and we will decode it for you and send it back with the decode description. And that will help you out in understanding yourself and your thoughts. Now let's move on to third uh, technique. This was my art therapy technique, mandala. Now let's move to next technique. When we are talking about stress, stress is something which affects every person because it's a normal response of the body. But when it is turning to distress, it is harmful for us. So we'll move on to third technique, which is a cognitive behavior therapy technique, where you start questioning your thoughts. Your mind is very intelligent, very, very intelligent. People think that they are some people who believe in um, power of subconscious mind, or some people who believe in God, spirituality. I'm one of them. But when people think that spirituality or power of mind will help them, they get on the wrong path, because they think that thinking of something like, I'll achieve this, I'll achieve this, I'll get this, or God, please give me this, or some deity whom you are praying will give you this, then you are going on a wrong path. Because I agree with the universal law that whatever you think will come to your life. But have you ever thought, if you are thinking about a negative thing, that definitely comes to your life. But if you think about positive things or positive goals, they don't come, or they don't come as easily. Have you ever thought why? Because your mind or your subconscious mind or universal energies accept only those things which you feel like are true. And now tell me, you all have such a smart brain. Every human has such a smart brain. If we are wishing for something or we want to achieve a goal and we are not working for that goal, or we are not doing anything for that goal, so is your mind that stupid that it will accept that okay, I'll achieve that goal no matter what, or no matter I'm doing something for it or not? Is it? No. We all have a very smart brain, very, very smart brain, which ultimately neglects the fact or just tells our mind that this is false, this is a lie, because it is not convinced that we are doing something to achieve that, or our brain is not convinced that we'll achieve that because just because we have planned that, or just because we have prayed to that god, because it is seeing that we are not doing anything in that direction. So when we are in stress, as our brain is so smart, it comes to different conclusions, negative aspects, negative conclusions, negative outcomes, and it shows us very negative scenarios. What you have to do in that situation, you have to start questioning your brain. Okay, you feel like this interview is very tough and I cannot do this. Your brain feels like this. Okay, why I cannot do this? So your brain will prepare an answer and give it back to you. Okay, you have to start reasoning with your brain. This is the reason why you can't clear this interview or clear this exam, or you are in stress, maybe anything. Then you have to again ask your brain, okay, you feel like this, but if I'm doing this, then why? Then again your brain will answer something. Again you have to ask your brain why, or if it is in a loop, so then take that brain to worst scenario, that okay, I will not clear this exam. If you feel like, then what? Then it will answer something. If it is increasing your anxiety, then stop at that point and consult someone, maybe your loved ones, or maybe some professional. If your anxiety is in your control, then you can continue with the process. If you are unable to control your anxiety, then don't go for this process, because this can increase your anxiety, like, which will harm you, or which can lead to some emotional damage or mental damage. So if your anxiety is not in your control, or you cannot control your anxiety due to some mental issues, or due to some anxiety issues, then don't go for this process. Go for Mandala 1, and rest of you can follow this process, and you will ask your brain, okay, so what? Then it will answer something. Then you'll say, so what? You have to ask your brain why and so what, depending upon your situation, depending upon your uh, what situation you are stressed for, or what thought is stressing you out, or what thought is giving you anxiety. Depending upon that, you can ask your brain why, या फिर so what. And ultimately, asking it again and again and again and again, it will form a train of thoughts, and you will come to a thought that okay, this is not that scary, or this is not something which I should worry about or stress about. And it will get that point and stop stressing you out, or will stop the anxiety, and your anxiety will be in control, and your stress will be in control, because your brain is very smart to understand the point, okay, this is not worthy of stressing out, or this is not worthy of your anxiety, and then it will let it go. If you are stuck in, many students and many of us nowadays go through some relationship issues which stress us out, or some relationship issues which increases our anxiety. There also you can use this technique. Then what? Yeah, fir why? This will help you out, help your brain out to understand, okay, your brain has to let go of this topic, and you will be able to control your stress and control your anxiety. And whenever you are in loop, change the question. If you are in same loop again and again, brain is answering the same thing, you are asking the same thing, then change the question. Then from why, shift to then what? Then what? And if you are like stuck in the loop of then what, then shift to why. You just have to ask these two questions to your brain: why and then what. Your brain ultimately will realize, okay, I don't have to stress out, I have to do this. Ultimately, you will get the solution, or you will get rid of that stress and anxiety. This is the third step, third technique which you can follow. This is the technique from CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, which you can do for yourself. Now, let's come to the fourth technique. We all are in stress due to something or the other pretty every day, right? And every day we find some solutions, and some um, we fight some situations, we flight some situations, and so on. But because we are in stress, because of because of scenarios around us, because of pandemic, because of many other environmental stimulus, we are in stress pretty every day, right? So as we are in stress every day, what should we do about that? There is a fourth technique which will help you with that, because that technique helps you in relaxation. We have talked about meditation. Meditation helps a lot with the stress. But for some people, meditation doesn't work, because closing your eyes and thinking of your stress again will increase your stress, right? Closing your eyes will not magically remove your stress or anxiety. So, meditation also needs us proper instructions and proper guidance, because while meditating, also, if you are thinking about your stress, your situations, your environment, your tensions, so that meditation is not helping you out. So, what we'll do, we'll follow some other relaxation techniques. One of them is JPMR, which is guided by a therapist. But our Ekaki Vedam has developed a very easy way of meditating, or way of relaxing your body. It's not a serious meditation, or it's not something which will enlighten, but it is something which will relax your body, relax your mind, and help your mind understand your thoughts better. So, what you have to do, you just have to close your eyes, play a very soothing music, whatever music you like, and close your eyes. And you have to cross your fingers like this, keep it, and sit straight, and take deep breaths. You have to take 10 to 12 deep breaths, and then you have to start focusing on your toes. From toes, you have to come to your head, and start focusing on your toes. Keep your eyes closed and uh, on every organ you have to focus for at least 10 to 15 seconds, and you have to say relax, relax, relax 3 times. This will help your organs to relax. Firstly your toes, then your calves, then your knees, then you have to come to your hips, then your stomach, then your chest, then your hands, then shoulders, neck, ears, mouth, eyes, and then head. When you will say relax, relax, relax very slowly in your mind, you don't have to speak it loud. Then what will happen? Your brain understands what is the meaning of relax. And if you are repeating it 3 times, then it will get the command, okay, I have to relax that part on which you are focusing. And your brain will relax your toes, then your calves, then your knees, then your hips, then your stomach, then your chest, then your hands, and so on. This will help you relax your body, and ultimately, when your whole body is relaxed, then you will focus on your thoughts, and you will start your CBT wala process, which we have done earlier. When you are mixing these two processes, your relaxation with CBT process, then what will happen? Your whole energy is focused on your brain. Now, when you are coming to the conclusion, your brain will accept that conclusion with whole your energy and will start working on it. Until then, your body will be relaxed, and uh, uh, after relaxing, it will be ready to work on that conclusion which you got after your CBT technique, which I told you earlier. So, these were the techniques which you can try in your day to day life to relax yourself, to decrease your anxiety, to uh, get yourself free from stress. Now, let's talk about depression a bit. That is nowadays everyone just like normally says that that person is depressed or that person is having depression, but depression is not something which is so common, first of all, and secondly, if a person is having depression, that then that should be taken very seriously, because depression is a clinical disorder which needs to be treated, because there that person is um, helpless and will not be able to help themselves. So you have to make that person aware, or if you are feeling that you are having symptoms of depression, then you should consult a psychologist as soon as possible to get it treated, because depression is a clinic I'm again saying this, depression is a clinical disorder which needs to be treated. Stress is different. Stress can be managed by the person, but when it turns into depression, it is a severe condition which needs to be treated by a professional. So, if um, people around you are having any symptom of depression, then you should make them aware and take them to a professional so that they can get help. Now, what symptoms are shown when a person is in depression? That person must show these symptoms, which I'll tell you, for 2 weeks or more. If it is less than 2 weeks, then it is considered stress, and you don't have to worry much about it. Uh, if that person has lost his or her interest in the things which used to gain his interest earlier. Like if he or she used to enjoy some game or something, now they are not able to or are not interested in enjoying those things. If that person is eating a lot or very less, if that person is suffering from sleep disorder, some kind of sleep disorder, or his or her sleep is disturbed, maybe he or she is sleeping a lot or a very little sleep he or she is getting. If that person is facing some issues related to cognition like concentration, memory, then that can have also be symptom of depression. Or that person is that depression, that stress is hindering his or her life, and um hindering his or her relations, then that is also a alarming point. But all these symptoms um, should be in combination. Like you cannot see one of the symptom and say ki, okay, that person is depressed. If these symptoms are seen in combination, then you should consult a professional, and that professional will conduct a proper testing and will diagnose that person if that person is having depression or not. And also, if someone is in depression, you should always help that person out, and also always get a proper help for that person, because sometimes depression can lead to suicidal attempts and suicidal thoughts, which is very unfortunate, and they should get help before that. Now let's talk about our topic, which was stress management. You guys are drawing your mandalas and um, write 20 points about your mandala, why you used that color, maybe pink, purple, whatever color you are using, why you use that color, and why you uh, why you drew that figure, or why you wrote that thing inside that. I want 20 points describing your mandala so that we as a team can decode that for you better. And in the mail, you will write those 20 points, attach your mandala, and write your contact details so that our team can get back to you, your name, your email ID, and your number. And now let me tell you guys a few details about CBT process, which you have. I just want you to be aware of few things while you are doing your CBT process. In the CBT process, be be aware of your anxiety. If it's going out of your control, please don't try that process. If you then also, if you want to try it with the relaxation technique that will help your anxiety to come down, cool down, and you can then try this process. If your anxiety, if you are an anxious person and every upcoming event makes heightens up your anxiety a lot, which is uncontrollable, then um, do that relaxation plus CBT process under some guidance, or maybe you can make some friends sit with you and then do it, because that will help that person keep a check on you. Um, this was it, and thank you guys for joining my workshop. Thank you all. And our Instagram is Ekaki Vedam at the rate Ekaki Vedam, and my personal Insta is at the rate Komal Parihar. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now the floor is open to questions. Anyone from the audience can ask.
Any questions?
So, ma'am, actually, I also had one question. So, basically, I just wanted to ask, at times, like you said, that, we can opt for techniques like making mandala and everything to, cure the stress. But at times, we are too low, emotionally and physically as well due to the stress. That how should we get out of that zone wherein we are too low to even, before we start planning our task, like you said? How should
Okay,
we get out of that zone?
at that time you should definitely try CBT techniques which will boost your brain and which will help your brain to come out of that zone, because your brain needs to understand the fact that this is not something which your brain should give up for. So, CBT technique will help you guys a lot when you are unable to prepare yourself to do something.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Audience has any questions?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
I have a
evening.
question. Tanzila, please ask. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, sir. So, yeah, ma'am, good evening. Myself, Tanzila. I had a question that it happens most of the time. Like for me, it happens that I have a lot many work to do simultaneously, like a lot much work, and at certain point, it is like my threshold crosses, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't take it anymore. But at the same time, I have to do it because it's my will that I have to do all these things. So
Exactly.
at that point it happens like I can't do anything, or my morale gets down that no, I am not efficient, though I know I am, but that time these senses come in mind. How to overcome that situation where you want to do work, but there's something that you just want to take a break as well? So can you please help me with that?
Yeah, sure. So this is what I was talking about when I was giving you the second technique of planning, second or first of planning, because whenever your mind feels like, your brain feels like it is not in control, it gives up. When, as you said, कि you have a lot of things, then your brain feels like, okay, I'm not in control anymore and I cannot do anything. And as soon as your brain gives up, your body definitely gives up. So, what you have to do at that time? You just have to make a to do list for yourself. Like, without time pressure, make a to do list for yourself and start subdividing the task. And it will help you out. As soon as you have completed your first task, subtask of that list, your mind and your brain will boost. Okay, I can do this. This is achievable. And then you can move on to second task and then third task in the same manner. This will help you out. Start making the to-do list and start dividing your task into subtasks, and take small steps towards your complete process. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. And here comes one more question to my mind, which I think I should ask because most of us are going to have competitive exams once we are done with our graduation. So
Exactly.
the cutoff is so high, and
Hmm.
when we go for the results, we go for the colleges, and they're like, this is the cutoff of this college. This is so there comes a sense of negativity that oh my god, I can't do that. For example, if I'm doing so, I'll say, my god, physics is my weaker section. So there comes the negativity. How to eradicate that and give your 100% so that to achieve? Because sometimes I feel if there's no negativity, you can achieve, but eventually that comes in between. So how to overcome with that?
Okay. Now, what I'm going to tell you will sound very negative, but you have to try this. This works. This have worked for a lot of my clients. That is, um, start asking your brain, then what? Then you will come to a point where your brain will understand, okay, this is the worst thing that can happen, and I am not affected by this worst thing. And then your brain will start regaining its control or start regaining, okay, I was stressed out because this was something which was affecting me. Now I have seen the worst, and this cannot affect me as much as I was anticipating. And then it will start helping you out or start working in the sync of your thoughts, and this will help you regain the positivity, because if your brain is not affected by the worst, then you are free from the outcomes. You are free from that cycle of anticipation, and then you can work positively towards your competitive exams. This will help you a lot. Start questioning your brain. Okay, so then what? Yeah, so what? And it will help you out to regain that positivity, because it will get free from that negativity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So you can go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, ma'am. My query is that when you say that relax your mind in the case of all the stressful condition, so do you think that by saying relax, it really achieves a stable mood, or how the mind behaves?
Okay, I was talking about a technique where you will close your eyes, take deep breaths. This is physical aspect of what relaxation technique, what I'm talking about. Whenever your breath is rapid, or your heart rate is high, or somebody is having some panic attack, if that person takes deep breaths, it ultimately relaxes your body, right? And after 10 to 12 deep breaths, you will start commanding your mind and your brain to relax various parts of your body. First of all, you will start from your toes, and you will go up to your head, and you will command your brain. Your brain is there to listen to your commands. But when it is relaxed, like after 12 to 15 long breaths, it's in the relaxation mode. It will listen to you, and you will command your brain to relax your toes. After three commands, you will accept that command. Okay, I have to do that. And that is the technique which you are following. So it will help when you are sitting with the relaxation music and sitting alone with all that aura and environment around you. That will help. Definitely.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Any other question from the audience? No, I don't think so. So thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Ashutosh sir to give away the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful session. We really appreciated every word of it. And in fact, I want to tell you that I have shared, your contact number with our faculty members also who were asking for your numbers. I want to inform you that with your permission, I've shared your number with them so that they can also benefit, because they also want to share it with for their students. So maybe you will be flooded with the calls today or tomorrow. You'll be extremely busy, right?
That,
And one more thing I want to tell to all my students to be always stress free is please be busy, or at least pretend to be busy. I think ma'am is also nodding, and she's maybe she's agreeing with me. So I think I really enjoyed to be busy. Earlier I thought it was hectic, it was selfish, right? It was introvert, but now I really feel that it's a blessing to be busy because it gives me a very achieving feeling, and feels me as if I have no enemies, as if I have no stress, as if I'm in control of myself, and as if I have nothing to lose, right? So I think it was a very nice session from ma'am, and I'm really grateful to ma'am for such a enlightening session. At the end of it, I want to tell you all: don't worry when people don't help you, right? Don't worry when things are not happening good. Ultimately, when you take care of yourself, the things take care of themselves, right? So please be smiling, please be hopeful, and nothing will affect you. Thank you, ma'am, once again.
thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much.
for inviting me, and
Surely, ma'am.
thank you so much. Keep
Yeah.
smiling.